Hello and welcome everyone to our very first webinar for 2016. My name is Randy Blackwood and I'm super excited to have you all join us online today. Now just before we get started, can you just raise your hand to confirm that the sound is working correctly? So basically a bubble box at the top of your screen where you can just type in any message that you want to type in, so you can just say hi. Oh, perfect. Okay, I see a few people saying hi. Hi Lisa, how you doing? John, howdy. I also have, okay, Joshua, how you doing? Mandir, how is everything going? Okay, perfect. I see a few more people raising their hand. Great. I'm seeing that everybody's kind of getting custom or familiar with that bubble box. Just before I proceed forward, I do want to go over a few little logistics. Again, with that chat box, the same chat box you're just in, you're going to place any questions that you may have throughout the webinar, because we want to make sure this is going to be a two-way interactive webinar. And again, don't hesitate to ask any questions or even ask for clarification throughout, because there's definitely going to be a lot of information, and we don't want you to ever feel overwhelmed through it. Now, once again, my name is Randy Blackwood, the recruiting manager with Blackwood Employment Source, Inc., and our purpose is basically where we specialize in helping top accountants and financial professionals obtain their dream job. Now, today's webinar is the 7 steps to igniting your career. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of pondering on, well, what is the 7 steps to igniting your career and what is it all about? So basically, the purpose of the webinar today is to help you transform where you are now in your career to where you want to be at the end of the year. So definitely looking at the whole transformation of it. And I know within a lot of the thought is, well, how will this happen? How will we basically achieve this? And we're going to do this by providing you a little secret. Basically, the secret to starting and staying on track with your New Year's career resolution, the secret to advancing your career step by step, as well as providing the secret to finding a balance between personal and even professional life. Now, today on the call, I'm going to be joined by my close and dear friend, Ruth Dorsavel. She is the chairwoman of the DNA Staffing Corporation. She's also the chief recruiter at Expertise Manpower Group. She's the founder of the Recruiting and Staffing World, as well as a career speaker and a peak performance strategist coach. So without any further ado, I do want to bring my closest friend and dear friend, Ruth Dorsavel, on the call. Ruth, can you hear me there?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Randy. How are you?
I'm well, Ruth. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the call. It's very exciting. How's everyone feeling today? I can hear you. Hello, everyone. What an honor. What a great way to start the new year. Thank you so much, Randy, again, for inviting me on the call. It's always great to keep the momentum in the new year and start off on the right foot. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be in this platform and continue to accomplish my life's mission, which is to help as many people as possible reach their peak performance by finding their true gifts in life. So thank you again so much, Randy, for this opportunity.
Well, definitely. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're extremely busy with traveling and meeting other top performers to come on and speak with us for a little bit, and I do appreciate that. It's been a while since I got a chance to talk to you, so tell me how things are going. How are you?
I'm excellent, Randy. Thank you so much. I couldn't be better. I just came from a business mastery in West Palm Beach where, top leaders were involved. So I got a chance to meet, people such as, Tony Robbins, which I've been coached for many years, many billionaires and millionaires. It was a great life-changing experience. So I'm very excited to share it with the world. And I'm on fire.
It definitely sounds like you are. And, I'm loving the energy, because I want to make sure that the callers on the call right now is really seeing your enthusiasm and seeing exactly how great of a peak performer you are, Ruth. Okay? So with that being said, we both know in the new year, everybody comes up with a definition, or everybody describes creating a New Year's resolution. Right? It's either to, for example, achieve developing their skills, or seeking salary increase, or even want a promotion, which is great. but it's actually a statistical fact that majority of people who apply for a New Year's resolution, 46% will start it, but only 8% will actually finish it at the end of the year, which is some scary statistics if you really think about it. And one of the reasons could possibly be from not having their priorities straight, not having a clear map for success, and also their expectation might just be too large. You understand what I mean, Ruth? There, Ruth?
I completely understand, and it's sad that this is statistics show as such, but it is true. By January the 15th, more than 50% of the people would have given up on their goals. So it is a sad statistic, but again, let's just focus, and that's why it's great to have a webinar today to help people continue and to focus on the goals for this year, and just make a change this year instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. Find a
Definitely.
strategy as to how they can accomplish their goals. So
Definitely, definitely. So as you just mentioned, that is the goal for this actual webinar. It's to help professionals, such as the ones who are online right now, achieve their goals, right? Not only just start it, but achieve it at the end of the year. So with that being said, Ruth, tell me a little bit more about your role as a peak performance strategist coach.
again, peak performance strategist coach basically means that, I know it sounds fancy, but all it is that there is career consultant, right? Career coach. There's also peak performance strategist coach. The difference between the two is that the amount of what the difference between the two is that the performance coaching that I provide it doesn't come from me. It's not something that I've written out and I'm now going to pass it along. No, these are thousands and thousands of dollars that I've spent being coached by the best. My goal is to be number one, so I reach out to people that are number one in the world. And by doing so, I invested in myself. I invested in my personal growth. And in order for me to do that, I was able to, I'm actually a certified leadership coach by John Maxwell. Everyone knows him as the number one in the world. I've also been coached personally by Darren Hardy, which is the founder of Success Magazine. Everyone knows him, and he's interviewed millions of people around the world, with their success stories. And he's the number one producer in terms of time management in the world. I've also been coached by Barbara Bruno. Barbara Bruno is the number one trainer and coach in the recruiting and staffing industry. Great lady, great enthusiasm lady. And also, rest in peace, Charles Holm. Charles Holm is a top executive for Fortune 500 company. He's also worked as well with Warren Buffett. And last but not least, for the past 20 years, I have been coached by Tony Robbins, not him himself, but his coach. And those master coach has been coached by Tony Robbins. So I did have thousands of dollars to spend in coaching, not millions, which is what you need to be coached by Tony, and a 5-year waiting list. So I tried. You have to wait for 5 years in order for you to get coached by Tony. But I have been coached by people that have been coached by him. And I also had the opportunity to meet with Tony Robbins a couple of weeks ago. What a great experience, an amazing experience. I was actually at a business match in West Palm Beach, where I had a chance to meet with other world leaders. One of them is billionaire John DeJohnna and his wife. And she's actually a billionaire businessman, and he's a philanthropist. And he's the co-founder of Paul Mitchell, the Lime hair product, and as well as the Patron drink spirit company, the one that you see in the rap videos, right? So I got a chance to meet with him and his wife. What a great experience, right? I also got a chance to meet with Jay Abrahams. Jay Abrahams is an American business executive, and he has worked with Damon Dash from the Shark Tank, Tony Robbins, and that's what the executive call upon when they need a no-nonsense strategist in the business. And last but not least, I also got a chance to be coached by Mr. Scott Harris. Scott has worked with many world influential, such as Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, Deepak Chopra, Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, Sir Richard Branson, Nick Vujicic, Lord Alan Sugar, and many, many, many more. So he's the one that you called in for the ultimate millionaire coach. So again, so all those thousands and thousands of dollars that I spent being coached by the best, being a peak strategist coach means that you have a chance, an opportunity to learn from them. Because
wow. That's all. I'm speechless right now. Were you done there, Ruth? Or
yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know what? One thing that I've learned, and one thing that you require anyone that they coach is to share, right?
Okay.
Because success unshared is failure. And that was one of the things that John DeJoda, which is the founder of Patron and Paul Mitchell product, that's his philosophy in life. And he just, number one thing, if you're going to be successful, you have to help other people. If you don't share it, then it's ultimate failure.
Definitely. Wow. That is, it definitely shows your validation on why you are an expert and definitely moving in the right direction. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I have you on the line with me today, Ruth, because I want people to really see and understand your worth and the information that they're going to gather today. So with that being said, Ruth, what advice would you provide a professional who wants to kind of start their New Year resolution off right? So want to start off on the right foot.
You know what? The first thing that I would say is that if you're on the call, is that you're at least curious, and which is a great thing, by the way. Curiosity is definitely a great thing to do. But first thing first is to find out who you really are, right? So a little bit of internal cleaning, right? So again, we're writing goals over and over and over again. The goal is not to write another goal. Instead of writing another goal this year, which is a time management focus on prioritization, we like to adopt the principle of balance. So not scheduled centered, but the principle centered, right? Which Stephen Covey teaches on the 7 habits of successful individuals. So, for example, if your focus is on money principle, well, what would happen if your career or money lets you down, right? Let's say you get laid off, God forbid, fire, or a bad environment. You lose your balance because you're focused on money as a principle. So whatever you focus on, you will attract, right? So like a pair of lenses, if I were to ask you, not to think of the color blue. So if you close your eyes and you don't think of the color blue, right? Don't think of the color blue. Now open your eyes. What do you see everywhere? If you look around, your eyes will automatically focus on blue, right? And that's just how we're programmed. So what about if you were to be that focused on accomplishing your life purpose and mission? Would you want to be that focused and have those lenses to focus on your life mission? And that's what I would suggest for anyone to do, to focus on what their true gifts are, and by beginning with the end in mind.
Definitely a great point. Because if you do think, at the end of the day, the end will always be there, and the end result will always be there. But what is going to be your end result? And I think you're definitely touching on a point where people need to kind of really come to the realization that whatever you're trying to achieve, you first need to have that clear focus, as you mentioned. It's like when you close your eyes. You're right. If you think about if you're telling yourself not to think about something, you're gonna actually start thinking about it. It's like that law of attraction, right?
Yeah, definitely. And
So,
to add to that point, again, when you're writing your goal this year, and again, you've already done it. One of the principles that Stephen Covey teaches from the 7 habits of successful people is, again, to begin with the end in mind, right? So when you write your goal, let's say I want to be an accountant, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have any feeling or meaning, right? But if you were to start your goal by, okay, imagine yourself in your funeral, right? Imagine yourself in a funeral, right? And there's a tombstone with your name on it, right? What do you want it to say? What's the message that you want it to say? What are the principles that you would like to leave behind? Right? So these are the kind of meaningful goals that you should be striving for. The reason why you haven't accomplish, or you're not as encouraged to accomplish your goal, is because they're not as meaningful, right? But if you have principles such as humility, gratitude, sense of the universe, of a higher force, a source of all these principles, or a purity motive, purity of thoughts and forgiveness, or charity, so out of purity, you do not want to serve, you want to be blessed and contribute, which is an outward focus. And then once you have all that, you want to be productive, now that you have charity, you want to make a difference. Now you have this feeling you want to do something with your life, so you've had these feelings now as the main, the main component. Now it's time to put things into action. However, it also has to be effective. You don't want to just be productive just to want to get results. It's a whole new way of thinking instead of just being active, right? So one thing that 20 coaches really, ask is the RPM plan, which helps the individual be consistent, and which again we'll be able to get to discuss in a few minutes.
Definitely. Sounds great. I like exactly where we're going with that direction. That sounds absolutely fantastic, Ruth. Now, let me throw a scenario at you, Ruth. Let's say we have a professional who has entered this new year on the fence. So basically somebody who's teeter-tottering. They're not sure where they want to go, if they want to stay at work or if they want to leave, if they want to change their career, change their whole outlook and change the complete role of what they're doing right now. Or if they just haven't really figured out what to do about work. What would you actually say to them at that particular moment?
The principle that I use is it's not something that I've made up. It's things that I have been coached upon, and one of them is to definitely know where you're going in life. By doing so, is to ask yourself 3 questions. Okay, if you do anything in this call and learn those 3 questions, that will definitely help you in anything in life. And again, it's just such as this call. Ask yourself those 3 questions. What is your target? What do you really want? What is my outcome? What result am I committing to achieving? The second question is, what's your result? Why do you want to do this? What is your purpose? Right? And number 3, you need to have a map. What are your specific actions that you need to take in order to achieve those results? And you do this by taking massive action plans. So whether you're planning a day, a week, a project, a yearly goal, or even a conversation with someone, your plan will be based around asking and answering these 3 questions. If you do nothing else but starting to ask and answer these 3 questions, you will immediately begin to see a radical shift in your thought process, and therefore the result you're producing in your life.
Sounds good. Having that clarity, I like how you keep referring back to that word, clarity. It's one of those straightforward words that people don't really take time to think about it, to really understand how a clear mind gives you clear understanding, and it gives you a clear vision of what you should be doing and what you should be trying to accomplish. So I definitely see exactly your point when it comes down to taking action once you find out what your clarity is. So great point there, Ruth. Ruth, subsequently, most of the time, that same scenario will have like a ripple effect. And one of the compounds to that ripple effect is an employee may feel that he's not getting, I guess, a high enough pay or insufficient pay. How would you address this situation as a peak performance strategist coach?
You know what? In terms of salary, again, one thing that I specialize, because you know what, I really take the time to get to know each and every single client. And having said that, at the end of the day, they feel powerful. So when it comes to pay, that sort of things, you need to be coached on. So whether if it's not a coach, definitely get a recruiter or anybody else that's able to coach you through that. The first thing I would say is to know your worth, right? So if you're clear about what your gift is, you are irreplaceable to any organization. So, however, what will determine your salary is how good you interview as well. So, definitely finding someone that can help you in your interviewing skills that will determine how much money you're gonna make, right? So, but that comes with confidence, right? So, you have to be able. What I teach my client is to say no on the first offer that's being sent to them, right? And again, with confidence, with coaching, they are able to see the value that they bring to any organization, and they know their worth by and able to negotiate anything that they would like.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We're having any bit of delay here. Ruth, can you still hear me? It looks like I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties on my side, but that's not going to stop this webinar. We're going to continue to keep pushing forward. Ruth, through my tenure being in this business, I've come across professionals who always inquire on the importance of being well-rounded and diverse. In your expert opinion, how important is it to have a diverse background?
Well, let's look at the top 25 companies who hire diversity, right? There's 8 economic benefit factors of workplace diversity. One of them is a diverse workforce, drives the economic growth, right? So our nation, human capital, substantially grows as more women, racial, ethnic minorities, gay, transgender individuals in the workforce. So the study that shows McKinsey and Company study shows that women went from 27% of all jobs to 47% for the past 40 years. So definitely it shows a growth in diversity. Second economic factor of workplace diversity is a diverse workforce that captures a great share in the consumer's market, right? So anyone that sees that a company hires individuals of different backgrounds, that expand their value in the consumer's market. Number 3, recruiting from a diverse pool of candidates means a more qualified workforce. Number 4, a diverse and inclusive workforce helps businesses avoid turnover calls, because businesses that fail to foster inclusive workplace see higher turnover rate than business that values a diverse workforce, because they foster a hostile work environment that force employees to leave. So the failure to retain a qualified employee results in avoidable turnover, cost and profit for a company. And the number 5 reason of hiring and diversity or in a workplace is that diversity fosters a more creative and innovative workforce. And again, there's been many studies on Forbes magazine that show that 85% agree that strong diversity is crucial to foster innovative in a workplace. Number 6 reason is that businesses need to adapt to our changing nation to be made more competitive in the economic market. And number 7, diversity in the workplace is necessary to create a competitive economy in a globalized world. So now you're not only being seen locally, but globally as well. And last but not least, diversity in the boardroom is needed to leverage a company's full potential. So clients are seeing that their customers are diversity, right? So in order to understand their customers and their client well, they need to have a company that reflects their customers. So by doing so, they're able to grow and to relate to the individuals that they're servicing.
Definitely. Great point there, Ruth. Actually, I have Lisa chiming in stating that it is a great point, and she was very happy to hear the point about diversity in a globalized world. I'm assuming that it hits home with her in the sense that really companies now have to take heed. They really have to take an understanding of the benefit to diversity. It's no longer one square fits all, right? It's really bringing a different type of viewpoint to allow companies to see the benefit of different education, right? Different understanding of culture norms, culture growth, just seeing those benefits, and it's showing a really great progression right now. So great points, Lisa. Definitely like all those points.
Yeah, and as you can see, all those companies, Nordic Pharmaceutical, all those companies are seeing the benefit of that. And these are #1 companies in the world, right? So yeah, there is a huge need for diversity. So definitely embrace if you're from a different background.
Good. Now, Ruth, let's segue into a couple more questions, because I'm seeing a couple of people kind of respond back to the same comments again. Now, I have one question here who's saying, basically their question is asking you, when it comes to diversity, what is the clear path to making sure that you're able to integrate into this, I guess, this society, or in a North American society?
You know what? A personal story of mine. If anyone, followed me online, I think it's been 3 years that I started to show my pictures online. Because what happened is that, being in a recruiting and staffing world, yes, I do encounter individuals that are not welcoming of diversity. I do come across individuals that are not welcoming a Black person, right? So me personally, actually, and I've also, as I was growing in my career, I've always dressed frumpy. I didn't want to show too much of myself. I felt like I had to dress older to be able to be taken seriously, right? So what happened is that I worked on Wall Street for a while, and a great mentor of mine, reached out to me and he said, you know what, how come I don't see pictures of you on LinkedIn, or I see logo, but I don't see you personally? How come? And I told him specifically what had happened, which I hear on a very regular basis. I am French Canadian from Canada, so most people think that, I'm French Canadian, so they have no clue what my background is. And one time I was actually hiring for a company, I'm not going to say the name, and they told me that, you know what, and I kept, bringing individuals from different backgrounds, and they've never met me, and they said, you know what, are you gonna continue to send me, Black people? And, you're changing my entire company to, people of ethnic background. So I told them, so you wouldn't hire me, right? So what happened is that I shared that story with one of my mentors, which is highly, highly successful, and he's actually Jewish background. And he commented on his background and how growing up he had to, go through anti-Semitic, comments. And he told me that, you know what, people that don't want to work with you, we don't want to work with them to begin with anyways, right? So be yourself, show who you are, and no one will be able to take that away from you, right? So ever since then, I obviously went wild and started posting. And not just that, but it helped me a lot as well in building my confidence as well. By accepting myself, accepting who I am, accepting my age, the fact that I'm young amongst all those, leaders. And so I was able to overcome that. And again, that comes with ownership. And again, definitely having mentors and individuals that, that have that kind of belief system definitely helps. So what I would say is to own it. #1 is to own it. And just go for it. The people that are not accepting, you don't want to work with them.
Definitely. Great answer. Great response, Ruth. Great response. Ruth, you have another question here. How do you balance personal and professional life?
You know what? Actually, I had the opportunity to meet with John Paul, the billionaire philanthropist, and it's so funny because he's the most humble person you'll ever meet. People think, he's a billionaire, he must be an asshole. You'd be surprised. And don't get me wrong, there are assholes out there. But you'd be, he was such a humble man. And one of the questions that I've asked him was those answers. How do you balance it? So it's funny enough, I asked him the same questions when I met him. And he was with his wife, happily married for 24 years. And he told me, you know what, there's no difference. It's not one or the other. You combine everything, you're one person. So why would you separate your work and your, personal? It all comes in one, right? So when he does his meeting, let's say in South Africa or wherever he is, he brings his wife, and he goes, when he's not, when he finishes business meeting, he takes his kid, to scuba diving, that sort of thing, and then with his wife, with his family, and as well, and afterwards they go and give their time to the charity, right? So again, it's a matter of incorporating it all and not separating yourself. You're one person, Again, even Facebook. I used to do the same thing. I would separate a personal Facebook page and a business, Facebook page. But you're one person. Show your personality, right? And you will attract individuals that have the same energy as you, right? So the answer is not to separate yourself and to combine everything together.
Definitely. I like that answer. When you were speaking, you actually brought me back to the theory of marriage. Once you enter into a marriage, it's no longer you and you, it's both you two together, right? You guys combine and blend into one. So I can definitely relate to that point exactly. And now let's kind of jump back into a couple of questions that's kind of pressing that I'd be interested into knowing a little bit further. Now, how would you suggest a professional maximize their potential at work?
You know what? Again, it's it's very simple, but then again, because it's simple, not many people do it. All right, so it's very simple. Number one is to know what you want, right, and feed your mind. Your mind is very, very, very powerful. We have this computer right here that there's no manual. No one taught us how to use our mind. And it's one of the most powerful instruments that we have in the universe, right? So the first thing is to know how to use that manual. The first thing to do is to feed your mind with, again, world leaders that have the same lifestyle that you're looking to accomplish, right? So if you're looking for success, read about success. Right? If I'm looking to be the number one in the world, I will be mentored by the number one in the world. So depending on what you're looking for, read books, audios, go to seminar, go to meetups in regards to, and find people that are like-minded and feed your mind with positive energy, right? Number two, you need to make your body stronger. The better you feel, the more successful you're going to be. Right? So I'm not going to touch on that. I know it's not easy, but get yourself an accountable partner or just start walking every day. Just walk for 10 minutes today, tomorrow 12 minutes, the next day 13 minutes, the fourth day 14 minutes, the fifth day 15 minutes. Just start walking, just 1 minute a day. The next thing you know, by the end of the year, you'll be walking for 365 minutes, right? So that's the goal. Just take one step at a time, right? Number three, find someone who has already done what you're looking to accomplish, and get a support system that will keep you accountable. So whether it's a sponsor, someone that will sponsor you at work, and the book called "Forget a Mentor and Get a Sponsor." So I Googled it. I'm not sure of the name of the individual. It's a great, great, great book to help you accomplish the next level. Secondly, to work with a recruiter, right? Recruiters are, come on. You're getting so many things for free working with a recruiter. So another thing would be to work with a recruiter. And last but not least, get a coach, right? Get a coach, accountable partner, whatever you want to call it. And number four, which is crucial, is to help someone else achieve their career goal. The difference between all of this and adding number four is that by helping someone achieve their goal, that is the formula for fulfillment. The first three are the formula for success. Now, by adding the four, you have the formula for success and fulfillment. The worst thing is to reach your level and to say you're all alone and you have no fulfillment, right? If you help somebody along the way, you guys are both helping each other, that's where the fulfillment comes in.
Absolutely amazing, Ruth. We're getting some great feedback right now. I'm getting Lisa saying she's interested in the prospect that you mentioned. I guess that was the previous slide that you were talking about. I'm getting Josh saying, feed your mind, love it. I'm also getting, oh yeah, we're getting John as well. John stating that he's loving the mind and how he wants to project to go further. So that is some great knowledge and again, great tutelage that you're providing them with. So thank you again, Ruth. A similar question, but a little bit different. How to embrace goals how to embrace goals so that you can achieve them. So how would you embrace them so that you can achieve them at the end of the year?
Okay. Again, once you understand and once you find a unique gift, and again, there's different ways to do so, right? But the main thing is that once you write your goal in a systematic way with a support system, look at your goals. Many people, we have our goals, and how many people are on the call right now that have their goal handy with them right now? Or is it in their pocket or in their wallet, right? The goal is to not only write it in a meaningful way that will get you empowered, with a great purpose, but it's to look at it, at least minimum of 3 times daily, right? So the idea would be to look at it out, and we say it out loud, first thing in the morning, during lunchtime, and before you go to bed. If you stay focused and you read your goal on a consistent basis, there's no way that you will fall behind.
Good. Perfect. I love the goal setting. A lot of people don't realize how important goal setting is. Once you set that goal, it allows you to have clarity. So coming back to that same word again, clarity. Do keep in mind when you're setting that goal, just make sure it's a smart goal, right? Be specific, measurable, achievable, as well as make sure that you have the time to accomplish it. Now, I know that we're running tight on time right now, so I'm just going to kind of speed up a few more of these questions just to kind of get this process going. Now, talking about goals, how do you have a professional harness their goal?
You know what? I would say delegate. Delegate. So know your strength and delegate your weakness. There's so much time in the day. Focus on your true gift. So through our coaching, we provide a personality analysis that helps you to untap the examined areas in your life that may be driving you towards your goal or obstacle. So basically, just find your strength. Find a way to find again the art personal analysis that you could do some testing to figure out who you truly are and to focus on your strength and delegate the rest.
Good. And kind of just to wrap it up here, Ruth, what advice would you give someone who wants to really advance their career? So just this is going to be the whole shebang. Like, how would you finish this up here, Ruth?
Well, you know what? Again, it's very simple. Nike has been saying it for many years. Just do it, right? Action is key. Action is power. And action is the most important key to achieving any success, right? So just take action and just do it.
Definitely. Now, Ruth, I've had an amazing time right now with this call, and I think that you have provided our attendees with some great value, with great tutelage to really educate them and have them have a purpose, right? Have a purpose behind just saying, I want a New Year's resolution. Like, what are you doing with that New Year's resolution? Make sure you have clarity when you're kind of focusing on how do you achieve it, right? So those are some definitely hard-hitting points which you have made, so fantastic. Ruth, I know time is very limited to you right now, but I'm just wondering if you can kind of jump on just a few Q&As, just a few questions from some of the audience, just to see if we can kind of answer some of these questions.
Yeah, I would be honored to.
Perfect. So I have here from, is that Shamaya? I think that is. All right, with Shamaya, she's asking, what are the 7 steps to success?
You know what? The 7 steps to success, again, even Stephen Covey, I'm referring from Stephen Covey from The 7 Habits of Successful People. And I want everyone to focus on the word habit. It's not, things for you to do, but habits. Habits mean you have to become it. You have to become what you're looking to accomplish, right? David Hardy says, if you want more, you have to become more, right? So the habit number 1 is to be proactive. right? So be proactive. You are the programmer, right? You are the star of your own movie. Many people are extras in their own life. You know, when you go to movies and you see Tom Cruise and you see an extra in the back, that's who they are in their own movie, right? And it's your movie, it's your life, right? So be proactive. You're the programmer. You are the star of your own movie. Number two, begin with the end in mind, right? So, you know, you're going out there, going back to work right now. What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to be sitting around the computer all day long, right? Or do you want to be writing numbers all day long? If you do, it's fine. But what I'm trying to say is to put meanings to it. An accountant is not just an accountant. An accountant is here to help the company, reduce expenses and increase profit. And by doing so, the company is able to excel and help as many people as possible by hiring them and growing globally, right? So put meanings into your life, put a purpose into your life, right? So fall in love with your work, fall in love with what you're doing again, right? And again, have some meanings in terms of your career and in your title, right? Even an IT specialist, you know, just an IT specialist, you know how important it is to have IT even in hospital? Without them, we wouldn't be breathing, right? We'll have some, we need them in the hospital and many other the industries, right? So put meaning in your life and fall in love with what you're doing by having a bigger purpose and beginning with the end in mind. Number three is to put first things first, right? So, have responsibilities and, write them down, but be productive and effective. Don't just do things for the fun of doing things. And again, you've been doing the same thing after year, and this year, I know we say it, but this year should be different. This year, you don't want to do the thing that you've done in the past. You want to do something different, right? So put first things first and understand where you're going, and by doing so, find someone who has achieved what you're looking for, right? Habit number 4 is to think win-win, right? So now we live in a world where people think that it's me against the world, or I have to compete against, anyone. Like Randy and I, we're in the same industry, right? We could be working against each other, or we could have a win-win situation. And by doing so, we're helping others, and that should be the common goal. It's not how many people that, he brings to the table, how many people. That's not the goal. The goal is for us, for both of us, is to help as many people as possible. So think win-win, and you'll see that your life will change dramatically, and you will start attracting people that have a collaborative consciousness, which is where you want to be. Habit number 5 is first seek to understand and to be understood. So going back to habit number 4, if you think win-win and you bring your goal is to bring more value than anyone else. And by doing so, it's by knowing who you are and doing a list. Do a list of all your assets. What do you bring to the table? If you know how to count change, that's a value, right? There's people that are coming into the country, they can't speak English, they can't do anything, and they own restaurants, right? We see them all the time. And so going back to habit number 5 is to seek to understand someone and then to be understood. Most people, when we're having a conversation, all you want to do is respond right away. So what I'm challenging you to do is the next time you speak to somebody, really understand and say, you know what? Just sit back and say, you know what? I appreciate you. You don't have to agree with them. But just be like, you know what, I appreciate what you have to bring to the table. Like, I value your opinion. You just sit there for a moment, first understand them, and then seek to be understood. Number 6 is synergy, right? So it's definitely, as you're working on yourself, you'll be able to have a synergy. And you'll be able to attract individuals that are on the same platform as you, same consciousness. And habit number 7 is to apply all those habits and to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Definitely. So let me just kind of recap exactly the 7 steps to success here. And that's the first one is proactive. Is that correct? Okay,
Yeah.
definitely be proactive on anything that you're trying to do and accomplish. Um, Meaning, so fall in love with what you're doing, right? Have a passion, have a drive. I have step three as first
Sorry,
things first.
step two is to begin with the end in mind. So see yourself,
Okay,
see
beginning and end.
your tombstone with your life purpose written on it. So begin with that end, and then start each and every single day, each and every single week, each and every single moment with that in mind. Every single hours and second with that in mind. What's in your tombstone? What's your life purpose? What are you here for?
Perfect, perfect. So then that leads us into number three, which was first things first. So definitely have a clear understanding of what the first thing you have to do. Number four is going into win-win. So definitely you want to make sure that whatever you're trying to achieve, there's a goal behind it and you want to win it, right? So that's
Yeah.
definitely a great comment as well. And then we have seek to understand, which is a brilliant concept. Just being in the recruitment business, you kind of, the ones who succeed well are the ones who understand what they're doing. The ones who don't succeed well is the ones who feel that they want to push their business on somebody instead of understanding what problems a client could possibly be faced with. So that's a great point. And then synergy. You gotta love the synergy. Anything that you're doing, everything that you're doing, you gotta bring the synergy, bring that energy. Feel the aroma, the allure around you, right? Like feel the law of attraction. Whatever you're putting out there is definitely gonna come back to you. So that's a great point. And last but not least, as one of my coaches would say, well, actually, I have one for you too, Ruth. But one of my other coaches, Terry Edwards, would say is take action, right? Apply it. Always consistently go after whatever you want. Once you start realizing the benefit for that, everything comes easy, right? You have to be a professional at something, and to become a professional or an expert, it's doing something repetitively and really getting a clear understanding of what you're doing. So those are amazing 7 steps to success. Again, Ruth, it's been a blast. We are coming to the end of this webinar. It's been fulfilling for me. I hope everybody else, well, I'm actually seeing some messages coming in right now. I'm seeing Josh saying, you know what, wow, what a webinar. I'm seeing Lisa saying absolutely amazing. Can't wait to connect with you and Ruth. I'm seeing also Jeremiah is saying, you know what, thank you so much. So we're getting some great response in, and you know what, that's exactly what we wanted for this webinar, for people to understand and have a lot of clarity to where you need to go in life. Now, as Ruth said, she is a peak performance strategist coach. So, oh, Ruth, you were going to mention that there was something that you're going to actually give the audience just before you stepped out, and I didn't want to just bypass it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, it is an honor, again, to be on the call. Randy, thank you so much for creating this platform and to help as many people as possible. Again, that is the goal of this call. Right? That is my purpose in life. And again, I want to thank you for bringing that energy and sharing that energy amongst everyone. And again, the goal for this call is not to provide knowledge, right? Because you already know everything that I just told you. You already know all of this, right? So knowledge is only potential power, right? It becomes power only if it is organized into definite plans of action. Did you hear me say action? Action. And directed to a definite end, right? So what I would like to do again, I want to reiterate those 3 questions. Okay, that is very important. Again, if you do anything else, those 3 questions. 1, what is your target? What do you really want? What's your outcome in this call? Why are you on this call? What result are you committing to achieving? Number 2, your reason. Why are you doing this? What's your purpose in life? What's your purpose on this call? Right? Number 3, what's your map? What's your specific action that you need to take in order to achieve this result? What's your massive action plan? So, having said that, I am honored, and I would love the opportunity to provide 30 minutes of free coaching session to the callers on the line. Again, these are not something that I made up. These are bounds of knowledge and information that I've learned from the top leaders, and it is my duty to share with other people. Actually, before they even take me on as a client, then their number one requirement is for me to share that with other people. So having said that, I want to ask you guys as well, if you want to achieve something different in this year, you have to look at the five people that you hang around with, and these are the people that you know that your life somewhat resemble, right? So ask yourself, who's your superhero? Everyone knows Amy Cutting. Talks about the power pose. I have my own power pose. When I speak to my coach, they have their own power pose. So let me show you mine. As you can see, Amy Cutting, everybody knows her from TEDx. She talks about how to feel powerful and how to be a superhero. My superhero is the Catwoman from Batman, right? And she has a lot of power. She embraces her femininity, and she's smart and unconquerable, and that's how I feel. So again, I ask everyone. One thing I would like to do is anyone that's on the call right now that would like to get two, not one, but two free coaching sessions. You take a picture with your power pose. Here's mine, and I'll do one for everyone. So what you'll do is go home and you take your power pose, right? This is my power pose.
Hold on, Ruth. Let me let the people see you. Let me let the people see you.
Yep. I'm gonna take a selfie right now, and I'm gonna post it. So here we go. I'm gonna post it right here. All right. So take your power pose, okay?
You just make sure that we got you on that power pose.
Check your power pose and hashtag on Igniting Career 2016, right? Post it, tag us, let us know. And the person that will have the best costume will have 2 free 30-minute sessions.
All right, perfect. So again, you heard Ruth. Put up your power pose at the best possible way that you can. You want to make sure that you're hitting your power pose while you're doing it. So Ruth gave you the selfie to show you how to do it, the swag to doing it, and just be confident within yourself. My power pose. I'm thinking, who's my superhero? I'd probably say it would probably be Mr. Batman himself. And coming back to your comments here, Ruth, where it's saying my boss told me dress for the job, right? You want not the job you have. You want to set up?
Yes, can you imagine going into a meeting with that kind of power? Again, it doesn't have to be dressed that way, but and again, if you look at Amy Cutting's video, just go to the washroom before an interview or before any meeting, and then just have that power pose, and you'll just feel the energy, right? And again, everyone is doing it now. I'm actually late in transferring this information. Everywhere I go, all the business mastery, everyone came out with their costumes. So don't feel weird. And if you're still not unsure, go into the washroom, just feel that, breathe in, breathe out, bring that power pose, and you'll feel automatically power, and that's going to help you with your confidence in any meetings that you have that are be taking place.
Definitely. Again, Ruth, it has been a blast having you on the call. I do appreciate it. You are one of my good friends and colleagues, so I'm thankful for having this opportunity to get you on the call and to hear some of your wisdom. I know that the attendees are very happy, and I look forward to kind of sharing this information with people so that they can continue to understand the importance of a peak performance strategist coach. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Randy. Again, it was an honor. I'm happy to call you my friend, and I look forward to many more partnerships this year and always.
Definitely. Again, make sure that you send out your power post, your power picture to hashtag Igniting Career 2016. Again, that's hashtag Igniting Career 2016 on whichever social media you're comfortable with, whichever social media that you strive best at. And again, thank you all for joining the webinar. It's been a pleasure from Ruth as well as myself from Employment Source. Don't hesitate. Our model here is we definitely want to make sure that we help you in succeeding your ultimate goal, which is your career path and your career journey, on your career path and career journey, all right? Thanks again from Blackwood Employment Source, as well as Ruth from DNA Staffing Corp. Peak Performance Strategist Coach. Again, thank you. Have a great one. Bye for now.
Thank you, guys. Live with passion.